Hey everybody, it's Vince from Spradley Kia here in Pueblo, Colorado, in southern Colorado. And today, in the spirit of Halloween, I decided to do a video on the fire orange Kia Forte with black interior. This is the LXS edition, so our base edition. And Kia Fortes will always kind of have a special place in my heart because I drove a Kia Forte for 8 years. Never had anything go wrong with it besides a new set of tires, and I think I did an alternator once. So not horrible for driving it for about 8 years, 2011 to about 2018 and a half. So definitely love Kia Fortes. So here we go. 2023 Kia Forte LXS sitting on 15-inch tires, on the Kumho tires, which are the standard tires, but Kia has gotten really aggressive with their wheels lately. If you see my other videos, I talk about it, and I really do like, even on the base model Kia Forte, you have these awesome wheels right here. You have your daytime running lights, your LED headlights, tiger nose grille all along the front, Kia signature script badging on the hood right there. Oh, let me get my shadow out of the way. And again, you have this cool fire orange color, which came out a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken, but it's kind of a limited color. You don't see a lot of them, and they are pretty striking when you see them on the road, especially when you have all the windows tinted. I think they look really, really cool. Now, the awesome thing about Kia Fortes is they are kind of our entry-level vehicle, so nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy, but they come with a suite of safety features and features that a lot of people like. It even comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, which in a $50,000 Telluride you don't even get. But here in the base model Kia Forte, you do have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. I love the kind of circle gas cap right there. I've always liked the circle ones instead of the square ones. I don't know why. I am weird, but those are always something that I've always liked. Coming along the back here, again, you have Kia script badging right there front and center, along with the kind of square tail lights, more like a rectangle-ish kind of shape. And then you have your rear diffuser down here with kind of this, if you get real close, you can kind of see this little triangle mesh. Kind of cool. You have your rear lights down here. And then you have your backup camera, because all Kias come with backup cameras now. And then you have your lights down there. I don't know if you can see kind of at this angle, but you have your license plate lights. So car looks really cool in the dark. Not too shabby at all. I already have the car running, so let's kind of come along here to the driver's side. So this guy, it's a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder vehicle. Great on gas, pretty peppy for what it is. It's a great entry-level vehicle, especially for, this model I think starts at $21,500. So MSRP of around $21,500. You really can't go wrong with that. So that's, a decent low payment for most college kids, young adults, someone looking for a nice, safe car. Coming here left to right, just sitting on the door, you have your door locks, your window locks, your window one-touch controls, and then your mirror controls. You have your little silver door handles here with the aluminum. One thing with Kia Forte is it's almost advertised as the baby Stinger. You're gonna see a lot of similarities between the Kia Forte and the Kia Stinger, which you're not gonna find in, let's say, the K5 versus the Kia Stinger, even though the K5 is kind of a hybrid between the Optima and the Stinger, if that makes sense. But when you look at the Kia Forte, you're gonna see this door handle is very similar to the design of the Kia Stinger, which you kind of will see there. When I sit in the vehicle, you're gonna see the aeronautical vents here. These aeronautical vents there and over there, reminiscent of the Stinger. Only two Kias have those, and that's gonna be the Forte and the Stinger. You're gonna see this 8-inch display here, which is the same as the older model Stingers. So a lot of reminiscence here between the Stinger and the K5. I'm sorry, the Stinger and the Forte. Now, one thing, I know I already said it because a lot of people always ask, hey, when is wireless Apple CarPlay or wireless Android Auto coming? There's your proof right there. Please connect a phone that supports Android Auto using a USB cable that is approved for wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So you can definitely use that here in the Forte LS. Let's kind of move here to the center screen. You have your distance till empty right there on the top. So even with the full tank of gas, this guy gets 395 miles till empty. It is 72 degrees outside, not a lot of wind, and you have 15 miles on the odometer there. Got your speedometer, your tachometer, your fuel on the bottom right-hand side, and then you have your engine temperature on the bottom left-hand side, which is pretty neat. Coming along here on the side here, the aeronautical vent, like I stated here, which you can turn on and off by turning the little circle guy there. Kind of cool. Like I said, I'm a big fan. If you've seen my other videos, you guys should know that I've driven a Kia Stinger, 2 of them actually in the past. You have your blind spot detector right there. So even as a base model vehicle, you have some pretty decent safety features there. Blind spot detector, traction control. This little guy will illuminate your center console to your liking. You have your automatic light switch right here, your light switch. I like to keep my lights in auto just because it is, it's just better. I haven't touched my lights in what, 2.5 years. You have your steering wheel here, which is pretty easy to manipulate, and all the buttons are in the places you would expect them. You have your volume control and your control there for your radio, for your music right there. You have your mode button. If you press mode, it's going to cycle through the different radio modes. So right there was FM, AM, then there's FM, AM, FM. So you can change that mode button there to show what you want it to show. Answer a call, and you have your star button. Star means it can do multiple things. So if I press that star button, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to see this screen has changed now to, I can make it reject or end a call, which is what I'm actually going to make it. Hands-free calling, privacy mode, voice memo, quiet mode, none. So when you see a star anywhere in the Kia vehicles, you know that's a customizable button. So right there, I made it end a call, because accept a call, end a call, it just makes sense. Coming over here on your right-hand side, you have your 2 pages button, which goes over here and it controls your center screen there, taking you through the settings, tire pressure, driver info, all that good stuff. Now this toggle switch right underneath it, you go up, you can go down, you can manipulate that center screen there. So this guy, the 2 pages button goes left to right, your toggle switch goes up and down. Digital speedometer there, which a lot of people like and some people can never find, so it's definitely in the settings right here in the steering control. Right there in the steering control, even on other Kias as well. Cruise control, even on a base model, and then you have forward keep assist. So that's going to use the information in this little box up here above the mirror, and that's going to use information for the cars in front of you to keep you in the lanes, especially like on a 2-lane highway. But you turn it off, you can turn it on. You see the little icon there going off and on the left-hand side of that screen. You do have to turn it off and on every time, so that's not exactly a hassle, but it's something that, you know, it's pretty easy to do. You have a fully controllable steering wheel here. It's fully goes up and down and in and out, so you can customize it however you want, and that goes in turn with the bar underneath the seats down here, and you can push that forward. I can slide forward, I could slide back, and then you have your little pump on the side of the car, side of the driver's seat right down there. You get your guy, you can pump yourself up, you can pump yourself down to move the car, to move the seat up and down. All right. One thing that always happens on test drives, and I don't know why, but everybody likes to pull this fuse box off right here. There's a little fuse box right there. I've had so many customers on a test drive. They go, "What's this?" And they grab it and they literally rip it right off. You don't need that. That's just the fuse box. But you do have your trunk latch right there. You have your hood latch right there. You have your trunk and gas latch right here on your bottom left, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the trunk because I didn't get to do that earlier. When you pop the trunk right there, I'm sure you guys heard it pop, but you have a big, beautiful trunk. Big, beautiful trunk back there. I used to always love the trunk sizes in the Kia Fortes. Honestly, I've never really needed anything bigger. I remember getting well, back then, I think it was like a 32-inch TV back there. But yeah, really cool. Really big room. You have pass-through, so you can see those cars. Those seats in front of us are on a 60-40 split. So you have the little pull guys right there. And right there, you pull those little levers, and then those seats fall. Pretty cool. So if you made it this far, I would like to remind you guys to like and subscribe to my videos. If you like what you see, please boop the subscriber button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I am in striking distance. I have less than 100 subscribers to go, which is really cool because I really want to get to that 1,000 mark, and I have less than 100 to go. So if you can, please boop, like, and subscribe. You got your little pull handle right here, which is kind of cool because it just kind of uses center of gravity. You don't have to use a lot of strength. You just kind of pull it and it goes down. Give it a little bit more of a pull than I just did, and then it will close. Not too shabby. So before we move on to the center console, let's just pop into the back here and let's just see how much legroom you have in the back. Now, when I had this car myself, I was single, married, no kids, and so I did not really ever spend time back here. Now it's kind of a shame, but you have plenty of legroom. My seat was pretty much seated to where I would want that to be seated for me as a driver, and so if I had someone the same size as me in your back seat, decent legroom here, not bad at all. This is the base model, so you do not have air back here for your back passengers. So this is just, you know, the plastic, and you don't have the mat pockets either. Just unzoom there. But you still have this motif of the aluminum on the door handles and on that door panel. And then you have your kind of oh crap handles right there. And then if you come on this side, you have that same handle, but then you have a garment hook right there too. You can turn the light off back here as well, so that guy can come off and on whenever you need. And then let's just do a little shot there of the cabin. I've always really liked the Forte, even on the predecessors, you know, before it had kind of that cluster and that aluminum gear shift and the little shelf. I'll show you guys in a minute. I've always thought the Fortes, for, you know, the price point, the reliability, the 10-year 100,000 mile warranty, the 5-year 60 bumper to bumper warranty. I really do think this car is definitely something that should fit most people's budgets if they're going for a new car. I had it in college. Well, no, it was after college. I had it when I was young, not making a lot of money, and super reliable, very low maintenance. I actually probably should have maintained it more than I did, but definitely a very good car, especially for young families, first-time buyers, like I was saying. Okay, let's hop inside again and let's take a look at some of the other guys. So right here, again, you have your 8-inch touchscreen, with the kind of that motif of the earlier Stinger models. You have your volume control right there. You have your tuner knob right there for the radio. And then you have this touchscreen where you can just press all menu and then you get all the menus. So you can do phone, which you can pair your phone with Bluetooth. Pretty much every car does that now. Phone projection, that's where you would go to hook up Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Voice memo, radio, so you can click the touchscreen there and go to your radio screen. And then if you wanted to do a preset, all you do is press the little star. The little star will make it a preset. When it's highlighted, it will take the preset off when it's not. You have your menu here as well, so you can go right to your station list. You could delete your presets just right there under menu. Little arrow takes you back, so if I press that little arrow, it'll take me back to my main screen. You have media, so that's like music on your phone. You have quiet mode, which is kind of cool, but I'm not really quite sure why in this car you would have that. Usually in your bigger SUVs you have quiet mode, but that is when quiet mode is selected, radio and music is played on the front speakers, and all volumes above level 25 will be decreased to level 25 automatically. So not exactly a big car, this Kia Forte, but very, very roomy. But quiet mode, I mean, I guess it'd be a little bit better than having the speakers in the back on, but I don't know. That's not my, I don't know why that feature's in this car, but it's a feature, it's in here. Your user manual right there on the car setup go into setup, and then you can do your device connections. So that's kind of where your Bluetooth connections are and your priorities can be. So you can have like, let's say you and your other, significant other are in this car a lot together or apart. Let's say I'm number 1, my wife's number 2. She gets in by herself and we have both of our Bluetooths connected. Hers will automatically pair. But if we're in the car together and I'm number 1 and she's number 2, it'll pair me first every time if I'm number 1. And you can change that priority there with auto connection priority. Phone projection, again, you would just pair your car for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto right there under connections. Bluetooth is always a default. So if your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto do not work for some reason, your car should always default back to Bluetooth. Where were we? We were back under setup. Display, buttons, general Wi-Fi. This car can generate Wi-Fi. I think it's through Verizon in most parts of the country, if not all parts of the country and the world. But you do have a Wi-Fi hotspot in this vehicle, and you can create Wi-Fi passkeys there as well. A little arrow, little house takes me home. So back to your home screen here. On this home screen, you do have all menus, which is the button I've been clicking to get to the menus, but you can control your phone, your media, you can go directly to setup. And when you have CarPlay or Android Auto hooked up, it would go right there in that top screen. But this is also a touch screen, so you can click that, takes you right to radio. A little house takes me back. All menus, scroll over one back into setup, and then lastly you have climate, which you can just change your climate settings with the circulated air, the automatic ventilation. I'm just going to go ahead and turn that on. Activate upon washer fluid usage, so automatically prevents the washer fluid scent from entering the cabin. Can honestly say I don't think I've ever had a problem with that. Automatic dehumidify. I've noticed a lot of cars have that now. A lot of the Kias have automatic dehumidify. It automatically switches to fresh air ventilation to decrease humidity after an extended use of recirculated air. And then you can also do scheduled ventilation as well. Now, if you don't like the touchscreens for any reason, you have your physical keys right here. Same thing, you have a star button, so that's customizable. You can make that many different things. You have radio, media, seek, and seek tracks, so you go forward and backward on your tracks, and then you go directly to setup by pressing there. So for any reason you don't like the touchscreen, you have physical buttons as well. Kind of your basic climate here in the center, nothing too spectacular. You have your temperature right there, you have your blower switch, and then you have your directionals right there. AC, you can turn it on, you can turn it off, and then you have your rear defrosters right there. Anytime something is highlighted in orange in a Kia, then you know it's on. Down here you have your little shelf for your phone on the LXS, so kind of cool. USB port, and then your 2 charging ports down there for the 110s, if I'm not mistaken, your cigarette ports. Different drive modes right here, right next to the shift column. So drive mode, when you press it, you're gonna see your center screen right here will go from normal to sport to smart. Normal is, the essential. That's what most people probably drive in. It's like an eco mode. It'll balance the suspension out pretty well. Smart is when you want a tighter suspension, you want that more sportier feel, which you can do there within the Smart. It'll automatically switch you through the gears. I'm sorry, with Sport, it'll automatically switch through the gears. Smart does something that my wife loves, which I'm not a fan of per se, but it's basically like automatic. So when you need the power to overtake someone on the highway, or to when you speed up to run a yellow light, it'll throw you into Sport. And then all the other times it takes you back into normal. So it kind of like controls how you drive. So I don't know. I don't need that, but my wife swears by it. She says she gets better gas mileage in Smart too. But if you are in the higher elevations, you probably always want to drive in Sport. It's just better for your transmission. It's just better for you when you're in the higher elevations to drive in Sport. Now, one thing I've just done is I put the car in drive, and I can pop this guy to the left. And then now I'm in a manual mode. So see that S right there in the upper left-hand section of the screen? I can go up and down through the gears. So that's first gear. And then if I were moving, then I can kind of move it into, second gear if I was going faster. So you can switch through the transmissions gears right there. And then you could do that anytime. So if you're on the highway, if you're driving, you can just pop it over the left and go into Sport mode. And then you can just go up a gear, down a gear. And then when you're ready, pop it right back to the right. So not horrible with that. cup holders right here, emergency brake right here, pretty standard. You have 2 cup holders in the center, 2 cup holders in the seats, both front and back, so that's what, 6 cup holders. And then as you notice, you do not have a cup holder in the middle armrest of the Kia Forte LX. That is basically it. I mean, this car is exactly what it needs to be. It is great on gas. It is stylish. It is, it's got the safety features you would want in something for your child or for your first-time buyer. Without, breaking the bank, it's not going to, you're not going to get dirty looks when you're driving this thing, but it's just a great car. I cannot really knock it for anything. And this is in the fire orange with the black interior. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I definitely do appreciate it. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I am definitely appreciative of the likes and the subscribes, and I try and get back to all the comments that people leave. I just like what I do, and I like showing cars, and the Kia Forte has always been one of my favorites. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys down at the dealership.